Is using copy and paste a threat?
Dave, so why don't you tell us why we shouldn't be copying and pasting commands from web pages?
Hey, Ken. Yeah, sure. So, I know we just kind of had a discussion with you and George about kind of this not being something new per se. It's been around. It's not, nothing new, novel, or completely different. But in this case, because of how people are just doing a lot of copy and pasting nowadays, especially with, when cloud, a lot of the commands, Kubernetes commands, Docker commands, container commands, people, are just, kind of maybe in a hurry, don't want to take the time to, type them out or whatever. So in this case, what's happened is when you go to a web page and you're copying the contents of, let's say, any command or anything off that page, it doesn't have to be a command, it could be anything, but in our topic here, it's a command. When you copy that, what's on the page is not actually what's being saved to the clipboard. So you may be, copying a sudo command off the web page, you paste it into a terminal, and lo and behold, that terminal is running a malicious command or action against, within your terminal to do some malicious activity or whatever, it was deemed fit based upon the attacker. So again, it's not new per se. There's been some other variants over the years. I think going back to like 2008, even some HTML type variants, not really JavaScript. I mean, JavaScript's been around, but it's kind of like George is saying, just bringing this to light to where making people aware that, we got, there's a lot of maybe developers, copying again commands to do things, or even, anyone in general, not just developers. But once you copy that and from the page and then paste into whether it's a Linux terminal or even a Windows command prompt, it can execute, because what they've done on this one is they've actually added a new line character or a so basically when you paste in, it automatically hits like an enter key or enter key press, so then it runs. So whether you're copying it from the web page, you think it's a good command, once you paste it in, again, it runs that command, and then just depending on what it was, it fires and activates. So in this case, kind of high level, it's basically just in the HTML, there's a JavaScript script block, and it just uses an event listener. And in that event listener, it copies back the actual command to the clipboard, and basically it's how it works. And again, this is more kind of awareness, but it's definitely something, that if you're in a hurry or someone is in a hurry, copies it and pastes in there, bam, you're in for it, basically, if that command is a malicious one. And, it's probably not going to be on every site. There's a lot of reputable sites. One good thing is just you should always, when you copy something from a web page, just paste into a notepad or a text editor so you can truly see the command, instead of just blindly copying from a website, pasting it in. That's kind of, that'll definitely stop this. And then, the main thing is just don't, copy anything. If you can, type the command flat out yourself, manually type in a command, not copy it, paste it in. But if you are going to do that, just, put it into a text editor or and look at it and truly see that the one you're copying from the website is the command that you expected.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because if you think of different, this could be taken as a way to kind of onesie twosie find victims, but kind of to go back to what you were talking about before and what I had brought up with social engineering. If you're social engineered into going to a site and you're trying to troubleshoot something, and they say, oh, just run this command that's on this website, and then boom, it's a targeted attack then. So it's, like you said, if you're going to do something like that, pasting it into something like a notepad or some kind of editor before you necessarily blindly or unblindly in this case, put it into a terminal.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's some other, variants, like I say, an HTML, CSS with hidden HTML. It kind of does the same thing. But yeah, I mean, again, nothing new per se, but again, just the fact that it is being mentioned again, it's obviously brought to light. And just as easy as it is, if you check, I think in Firefox, they have a preference that you can disable. I think it's DOM event, clipboard events. .enabled, you can set it to false. Now, if you do that, it may alter some of your other JavaScript, how a page functions. So there are some, catches where you may need to see if, that site doesn't function if you do that. But again, it's always better safe to be sorry. But, there are some mitigations like that could be put in place. But again, the main thing is just, copy and text editor or just manually type that in and, prevent this from, happening. It's just when you go to any website or web page, just, confirm what you're copying. If you're going to copy, paste into a notepad or editor, text editor, and confirm that, or just manually type that command in. I know some of them are long, especially with, like we said, the containers or a command, or curl commands, or wget commands when you're downloading certain packages. But if you don't want to copy that or type that in, and you do copy, just paste it in and confirm it, and then you can run. But again, don't just really quickly paste anything that you see from any website. Even though there are reputable websites, and most sites you can trust per se, just take the zero trust mentality, as I say in this case, and trust nothing that you copy. And then from there, you'll be safe if you follow those kind of steps.